France created West African CFA Franc in 1945 as a currency for its African colonies. 8 West African countries like Senegal and Niger and 6 Central African nations like Chad and Gabon use the CFA franc. The Union of the Comoros has a similar arrangement, even though they use the Comorian franc. These African countries are required to store 50% of the reserves with the French Treasury, and the currency is pegged to the euro.
We have a common currency also for 8 West African countries called the CFA Franc, meaning they have a common central bank, and these 8 countries share the same currency, which is pegged to the euro, meaning it has a fixed rate to the euro. 1 euro being equal to 655.97 franc CFA.
For a decade, there have been talks by West Africa's 15 nations bloc, ECOWAS, to ditch the CFA franc currency and come up with their own eco-currency. But the renewed push for a common currency is coming from the Sahel countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Military rulers argue that it is not about just changing the currency, but a fight for sovereignty. Finance ministers of the Sahel plan to weigh up the option of setting up a monetary union.
Money is a step out of this colonization. The states of the Sahel Alliance have experts, and at the right time, as I said, inshallah, we will decide.
I think the recent fact that all these 3 countries that you mentioned, Sahel countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, are under a transitory regime, meaning they're out of the constitutions because the regimes have been overthrown and they're led by military governments now, make things harder for them to discuss with the French government, which is the counterpart in part of negotiations with the European Union.
Critics say that the CFA is a neo-colonialism tool which keeps the African economies hostage, while others argue it offers them currency stability and provide opportunities for economic growth. The West African countries hope the single currency they're pushing for will help boost trade and incomes for their citizens. Brenda Radido, TRT World.